What's up times three is Vaughn, the Serious Star, Serious V, the self-help sensei, coming to you live from the airways, back like I never left. Yo, hopefully everybody's doing well. Today I came on to talk about a movie, because this is Truth in Films. The movie that I came on to talk about today is a movie, it's a horror movie from like 2012. And it's called Would You Rather. This joint, it's pretty much like a movie pretty much about forced into a certain nature. So I'm gonna go into this a little more. Give me one sec, because I'm looking up something on my phone real quick. Now, today, we is currently on episode 4. This episode 4 of Truth in Films. I had to look that up, my bad. Because I've been putting out some other videos and I actually didn't keep up with the episode that I was on. But we is on episode 4. Episode, whatever you want to say and whatever your language is episode 4, and we're talking about the movie Would You Rather, 2012 horror movie. Who the hell was in this movie? Let's look it up real quick. The main character, Brittany Snow. Yeah, that chick, Brittany Snow, is the main character in this joint. Now, let's throw a little spoilers in there for the overview of the movie, because we're gonna bridge how this movie deals with aspects of reality and all that stuff like that. Alright, so in the movie, pretty much when you go into it, it's, I believe the chick Brittany Snow, right? Like she need money for something. Now somehow she ended up linking with these people who, like, you know, they got the money, they got the bread that she need for whatever that she need to be. It's like, I believe it's like something to do with her brother or somebody, like a family member with a health issue, and she need money for like a surgery or something like that. And so she, like, you know, when you on that type of time, you can already see where I'm at with that one. Like, you're already in some form of survival mode mentality. So alright. When she links up with these like influential people who seem to, you know, they seem like they some alright, cool people, you know what I mean? But I ain't watched the movie in a little minute, but I remember the movie. I watched it a few times, but I believe they started showing their hand a little bit slowly but surely. You already know how that go. Now, they got invited to like a dinner or some shit like that. They got invited to a dinner, and throughout the dinner, they started pretty much like showing their hand to the people who was there. It was multiple people there. You got like random people, like just, you got like old folks and younger people, like in their like 20s and stuff like that, 30s, and then you got people in like their 40s, 50s, 60s and shit like that. Some old people there. And they all surrounded by this table with this dude. He seemed like, you know, he got like money and stuff like that, and he like tied into some type of group or some shit like that. So what's happening is they start to play this game. And when they started off, they realized that, yo, you can't even like leave. They got them locked in pretty much at a crib until the game is over, and it gotta be a winner. So, and again, it's called Would You Rather. So they start doing things where as though like it's like little small violent natures and little aggressive natures and stuff like that. So it's like you get picked, and they show them forcefully that if you don't play this game, we gonna hurt you. So that puts every player at the table who's at this dinner into a mind state of survival mode. Now, again, the title, Would You Rather? And these people are all in survival mode. One of them get picked for a specific aspect, like, yo, would you rather you get stabbed or something like that, or would you rather stab the person next to you? And they gotta choose, because again, it's either them or the person next to them. So they end up choosing and making their decisions. I'm not gonna go too deep into whoever, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I didn't watch this movie in a little minute. I just remember this movie because I watched a lot of movies. And also, they had less things that they needed to do that was painful, and then more painful things that they needed to do and stuff like that. And they realized that they playing a game to get money at the end and like a winner and stuff like that. Now, all these people, they in survival mode. So the more aggressive the things get, what you gonna do? You gonna pick yourself to get physically harmed, or you gonna just go along with the person next to you to get physically harmed, right? A lot of people ended up, you know what I mean, like sacrificing not a lot of people ended up sacrificing themselves. A few people ended up sacrificing themselves for small little like stuff, and then some other people said, no, I'm gonna just go with the person next to me. A lot of people in the movie got killed from that, you know what I mean, and all that stuff like that. Again, mind you, they had a dinner table, they forced to be there. If you don't play the game, you're gonna end up getting killed or something like that. So they all sitting there like, yo, we at survival mode and we gotta do what we told, or we, you know what I mean? Some people, moral values kick in. It was one boy, they was trying to make him like hurt this old lady. He wasn't trying to do it, so eventually you already know what happened to that nigga. He died pretty much. They killed him right at the table because he wasn't trying to play the game. And they wet. So they forced other people to kill him. I believe it went like that, but I know he died because he wasn't trying to actually participate and hurt other people because of that. Now, the spoiler, I'm gonna give you a quick spoiler alert because this don't need to be too long, to be honest with you. Excuse me. I'm gonna give you a quick spoiler alert. The chick Brittany Snow ends up like the winner of the whole game and all that, because again, when I started this video, when I started talking about the chick Brittany Snow, she's the main character, and her mindset is already in survival mode because of the health issue that her family member is going in. She need money to get that health issue fixed, you feel me? So we gonna tie this in to reality. We're going to talk about what's called a police state. Now, what is a police state? If you look up, like, for example, things that like Donald Trump talk about, like the deep state, that's like a police state. Mass surveillance, artificial intelligence being used for mass surveillance, and this is just like for example, intelligence agencies. I just put up a video yesterday about an intelligence agency called Dark Star Intelligence or something like that, and that shows you like surveillance role player jobs and stuff like that, how much they get paid hourly and things like that, what the task is and all that. Now, let's talk about the fact that, for example, I'm a person who is watch listed by the TSDB, I believe that's what it's called. Now, when it comes to that, you got people involved, for example, with the fusion centers and InfoGuard, Citizens Corps, surveillance role players and all that stuff like that. These people, for people like myself who is blacklisted in society, we are around other people who's forced or coerced and manipulated in some way, shape, or form into taking part in some form of government satanic harassment ritual type stuff on people who is considered chosen ones. If you go online, you're going to see that it says a lot of this stuff going to come up as targeted individual, gang stalking, stuff like that. The terms for real, the like terms that we should use legally is stalk by proxy. That's more of a legal term. And we live in a police state where it's mass surveillance. So if you don't play along, you gonna be just like in the movie. Okay, if you not participating in the game, you gonna be one of the people who ends up as one of the targets of the game. Like myself, for example, who is a person who's blacklisted in society from some deep state like government type thing. Again, Donald Trump talks all the time about deep state. You can find a lot of information on the deep state and Illuminati, New World Takeover, all that stuff. This shit is old information too. But again, tying it back to the movie with the fact that you forced by a entity that you consider upstanding society members in society who wear like badges and have like titles and things like that you look at in a respectable manner, but behind closed doors they do things like this. For example, in the movie, you got this person who's, you know, seem like you rich and all that, influential and all that stuff like that. Then this person ends up being a sick-minded individual who use all that money and stuff like that to play sick games with people's lives just for sport, pretty much. And that's a lot of what these elites do. These elites, these people who consider themselves elites, they not elites, they just got finance. That don't make them elite nothing. These people are bored as hell in life. This is how they end up. This is how you end up seeing horror movies like this, because these movies are created by people who know that things like this actually goes on in society. So like, just like in the movie, you know, the way that society is being pushed today in this mass surveillance police state type thing, most people who don't have the mentality and the nature to not be manipulated easily by some person who comes around with like a fake badge, or even if it is real or something like that, and just with these like dossiers and information and all that stuff like that. If you don't have the mentality to think for yourself, you're going to easily be a part of a hive mind, which is playing the game just like the person who's the influential person who puts you into this wants you to be. Just like in the movie Would You Rather. So for example, in a police state, you ask a person who we consider non-playable characters, NPCs, bots and things like that, you ask a person, would you rather not participate in this, or would you rather participate in this knowing the consequences if you don't? So just like in that movie, that's exactly what we see today, just being grown and getting bigger and bigger until it's like a freaking cancer that just spread out all over the damn planet, pretty much. Which is the police state and the completion of the mass one world planetary surveillance, pretty much. That's what everything that you see, especially if you're a person who's blacklisted like myself in society, you're gonna see all that type of shit and be able to put those two and two together. So yeah, this is Truth in Film, episode 4. Would You Rather? It's a horror movie, 2012. It came out in 2012. It's starring Brittany and a few other people. Check that joint out. If you're a person who's into what they consider conspiracy theory, we should say conspiracy reality, just like I transformed science fiction to science reality. Check that movie out and put your third eye on while you're watching it the whole time, so you can actually see, you know what I'm saying, like the deeper meaning behind the movie and how it's actually conspiracy reality and not a conspiracy theory, and how it links to what I'm talking about right now. It's Vaughn the Serious Star, Serious B, the self-help sensei, coming to you live from the airwaves, back like I never left, and I will be back.